Hey guys, how's it going? This is Con TDK, Mr. So Real, and in this week's Good or Garbage, we're going to be taking a look at the blueprint resets, the vendor resets, and all of the other stuff that has been reset this week. But as a warning, I'm sure you can tell probably from the title, this is a poop fest. This is probably one of the worst weeks I've seen, but there is a God Roll Suppressor, and that is probably the only good thing about this week. But there are a couple other things that are worth talking about, especially if you are a subscriber to JINX Canada's YouTube page. He makes build videos and stuff like that for the division. So check it out. Check this week out. This will probably be a very short week, so it won't take up too much of your time. But why don't we get into this and start looking at what stuff is on sale this week for the division with all of the vendor resets, and get it going in this week's Good or Garbage. All right, let's go. Starting off this week at the special blueprints vendor, we have the First Wave PF45 pistol, we have the SASG shotgun, we have a firearms knee pads blueprint, we have the firearms mask, the extended magazine blueprint, the angled grip blueprint, stamina gear mod, and the performance gear mod. Now, my recommendations for this week definitely would be that you pick up the stamina gear mod if you don't have one, the angle grip if you like a little bit more stability on your weapons, and the extended magazine definitely to have more ammunition for your weapons. The extended mag is kind of a must-have every time they do an update, so if you ever see the extended magazine blueprint, that is also one of the best attachments that you can get. No one is debating that one. You pretty much need that for a lot of weapons, not all of them, but for a lot. And the angle grip, in my opinion, is very underrated. For the people who do like to aim down sight, this is I would almost say a must-have, so that you can make sure that you maximize what kind of grips you get. But then again, a lot of these grips tend to fall, so it's not as scarce as it used to be back in the 1.2, 1.3 days. But if you don't feel like running around, 200 Phoenix credits to have a nice little grip is not too much to ask. The stamina gear mod, of course, is something to help bump up your stamina, and if you can get armor on it, I'm sure that would be very welcome. The rest of the stuff that they're selling this week, if you need it, of course, as always, pick it up. But I would probably say weapon-wise, of course, the only real choice would be the sausage shotgun. I may end up picking up one of these this week just for collector's sake, even though they nerfed shotguns pretty bad. If you're interested in something like this, then definitely go ahead and pick it up. Now let's go on over to the other vendors and see what they have this week. Alright guys, just to be straight up honest with you, at the special equipment vendor there is really nothing worth talking about. I'm going to scroll through this stuff just to show you guys, but most of it, either the secondary kind of bonus is not good enough, or it needs pretty much 2 rolls to fix a lot of the things that I would say are ideal. The special equipment vendor, and then on top of all of that, you need Phoenix credits, and the Phoenix credit requirement for a lot of this stuff is rather steep, usually over 800, except for these mods. So I would definitely say that this week the special equipment vendor is not really doing his best, and there isn't a lot here for you guys to see. If you want to take a look, by all means, go ahead and take a look. But if you find something that you think is really good or decent and worth talking about, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know which one I missed. But really and truly, from what I've seen, I was not impressed by any of this stuff. The Alpha Bridge almost tempted me, but there were a couple things that I really didn't like about it. But yeah, the rest of this stuff is kind of poo-poo. So why don't we just keep it moving and see what other things are going on this week. Now this week with the advanced weaponry vendor, he also doesn't have much in terms of weapons. Now the Pecan has a pretty respectable base damage. The damage to targets out of cover is a bit low at 11. The rest of these weapons, you kind of already know what they are. The military AK is not too bad in terms of its base damage. If you're looking for an assault rifle, In the base, this is probably the one that I would recommend, although it still is an AK, and I will definitely get around to doing something talking about the AK and its stability and maybe some mods coming soon. I've been a little sick, so I've been trying to get around to that. I know I've been getting requests for that, but don't worry, I will get around to it as soon as I can get through a lot of these other videos. But this one, the talents aren't that great on it, so I can't really highly recommend it, but the base damage is pretty nice. If you see an AK, it's not too bad. Check it out and compare it to some of your other weapons, like your slower firing assault rifles, maybe your ACRs, and see how you like them, see how they play out. The rest of this stuff is kind of not that great. But then, dun dun dun, oh, we got the hallelujah. The hallelujah. Yes, brother. We got the Omega Rifle Suppressor, and baby, it's a God roll again. I never thought I'd see this, but then to sweeten the pot, it's regular credits. No DZ credits, no Phoenix credits. This is regular credits, which everybody has a ton of, and if you don't have a ton of, you can get some real fast. So this thing has 18.5 headshot damage, 3% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 49% reduced threat. I think that's actually higher in reduced threat than the other ones that were sold a few weeks ago. So if you missed out on the God roll suppressors, get this and stock up on them. I think I'm gonna probably delete every suppressor that I got and just buy a bunch of these and just to have them, because you can never have too many of these things. They work well for just about every weapon, and nobody can complain about those kinds of stats. Now if you're rolling into crit and you want crit everything, then that's perfectly fine. But if you like getting headshots and if you like doing guaranteed damage and not waiting for crit, then this is a really nice one. And with that reduced threat, man, you can't go wrong. Now the rest of this stuff is really not all that great. If you want a crit damage sight, this is okay, but it's optimal range and accuracy, so it's kind of poo-poo. Highly recommend this Omega Rifle Suppressor. Pick up 6 of them, maybe 10. Pick up as many as you can. Pick up one for every weapon that you use. If you got 2 characters, make sure you pick up at least say 6, because you want to have one on each weapon and then one on maybe one of your backups, so you can switch it out. I plan on getting a whole bunch of them. And just show you I'm not lying. I'm gonna buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I already got some. So go ahead and pick one of those up, or pick some of them up, and even if you don't like them, you can break them down or sell them for parts or whatever. It's pretty good. So let's see what other things they got going on this week for the vendors. I'm really happy that this Omega Rifle Suppressor is out. A lot of people missed out on that, so yeah, definitely get this, and hopefully we'll find something better, because the rest of the stuff this week has been very disappointing. Let's go. In the Wolves Den, there is a very specific, and probably most YouTubers won't be recommending this, but I'm just going to give this as a shout out for those of you who are interested in the Tacticians build. One of the homies, JINX Canada, made a build not too long ago, a video about a Tacticians build where he was using Talented to go along with his Tacticians rolly balls, the explosive balls. And this one, I would say, because it has Talented and Brutal focused, you can always roll off. Isn't too bad. The base damage for this is kind of okay. The enemy armor damage is not that great, but the way that he made the build, it was a support class. So if you're looking for a weapon that has Talented on it, and it also has at least one more good talent, which is Brutal, then you can go for these two and then roll focus off. Check out his video. There should be a link that should pop up. And yeah, if you're interested in something like that, give his video a like or something, and yeah, see if that works out for you. If you want to play support class with Tactician and Rollerball, this might be a gun to help you out. All right, so let's move along and see what other things are going on this week. All right, in the meat locker, this is very, very special and specific and maybe not appealing to a lot of people. But in the meat locker, there is a 12 times scope that has 17.5 headshot damage, 4.5 optimal range, and 2.5 critical hit chance. The reason I'm recommending this to my sniper buddies out there is because, well, 12 times scopes are pretty hard to find, and ones with decent headshot damage are as well. I don't know if this probably isn't the best in terms of headshot damage, but if you need something and you're tired of having the ones that are somewhere around 17 or 16 headshot damage and you'd like something with some critical hit chance, then this is a pretty good one to get, and it only costs you regular credits, so why not? If you need a 12 times scope, here is one you can buy flat out. All right, so let's move along. In East 46th Street earlier, I talked about a G36 that was being sold for support players and JINX Canada's tactician rolly ball build. But if you really want to go 100% support, this is a pretty nice option. There's a black market RPK-74E. It's got 13% damage to targets out of cover, which is not bad. The base damage is 14.5 on my character. That will vary on yours. But the talents that we're looking at, we have talented, which is what we're looking for, that he mentioned in his build. We have destructive to also help with getting enemy armor down, to help and support your team. And then in the last talent, we have skilled. Headshot kills with this weapon increase signature skill resources by 5%. So I would say if you're going to go with something along the lines of his build and you really wanted to play the super support player, having that G36 and then having one of these might not be too bad. You could have the G36 to get down the enemy with damage, and just in case if you kill them by accident, you still get talented, and then you can work on them first off with this LMG, and if you get a headshot kill, you also increase the signature skill resources, which helps give your team the super back even faster. So if you really want to play that support role, you can do so much damage with your skills using talented, also bring back your super with skilled, and then you have destructive to help eat away that enemy armor damage. Plus you also have 13% damage to targets that are out of cover. This seems like a pretty nice pair of weapons that you could tack on together if you are playing support. If you're on the front lines, this is probably not what you want, but if you are playing support and want to try something different from the Alpha Bridge meta that's going on, or maybe something in PvE, this could be something fun that you could try out. All right, so let's see what else is going on this week. In West 42nd Street, we have another very niche thing that is being sold for the snipers. We have another 12 times scope. This time the headshot damage is about 1% less. It's not that great, but this time you have critical hit damage and critical hit chance. So if you're stacking for crits and you're sniping, this might be a better option for you just for that extra 4% damage on top of your crits. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know which one of these scopes would you pick up if you were a sniper, and what kind of build are you running. I'd love to hear from fellow snipers. What are you guys running out there? Not too many people talk about that, and I'm kind of curious and interested. Let me know. All right, let's see what else is going on. All right, guys, up in DZ5, there's an extended magazine that isn't half bad. This is actually pretty decent. 107 magazine size, 4% crit hit damage, and 5.4 rate of fire. Now I know a lot of people like rate of fire on their magazines to get even more burst damage, which is why I'm recommending this. The magazine size is not the best by far. I know that you can get well over 110, probably somewhere around 112, but if you want crit hit damage and rate of fire, and you don't feel like going through all of your materials to craft it, because none of that stuff is ever guaranteed. If you just want to buy something that's decent straight out of the box, then this is one that I would recommend you pick up. The blueprint is being sold this week, so you could always roll the dice and give it a gamble, but if you find yourself rolling the dice a few too many times and not really getting what you want or getting anything better than this, then you pretty much got a week to try and play with that. And if you don't find it, you can come and pick up one or two of these. The rest of this stuff is not so great. All of this stuff is kind of poo-poo. but that magazine is okay. It's not amazing, it's not God roll, but if you need something with rate of fire plus crit damage and a respectable magazine size, this ain't too bad. All right, so let's see if there's anything in DZ6, which I highly doubt. If there isn't, then yeah. As expected, guys, there's nothing going on in DZ6, and this week has to be the most disappointing week for blueprints, weapons, gear, mods, and everything ever. I can't remember a vendor reset like this that was this bad in a very, very, very long time. I really don't remember any that were this bad. This was actually really, really bad. So if you didn't get that God roll suppressor, though, that is one kind of silver lining to this really crappy cloud. If you didn't pick one of those up, then definitely go ahead and grab that. If you did pick one up and you still want to grab a couple more, then by all means go for it. If you're looking for that kind of tactician roly ball of death destructo build that JINX Canada was talking about, there are a couple weapons that were pretty good if you're interested in trying some of that stuff out. But is it the kind of gear that you're going to use to totally change up what you've been using? Probably not. But it could be a nice variation or deviation from the usual monotonous play that a lot of people go through on a daily basis when they go through their rounds with the division. So on that note, I'm gonna cut it here, and I will catch you guys in the next video. I hope you guys are enjoying a lot of my new content and checking out some of these newer videos. I'm really happy to hear that you guys are liking some of the stuff that's going up, and it's nice to know that a lot of you guys are coming and leaving comments and wishing me well, even though you know I've had a cold for about a week and a little bit. So thank you. I appreciate all of the well wishes, and thank you guys for all the support. I hope you're having a wonderful 2017. So until next video, again, I am Khan, TDK, Mr. So Real. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.